Hello students, welcome to today's biology class. In the previous class, we discussed about monohybrid cross and the two laws which Mendel derived from his monohybrid cross. Which are the two laws that Mendel derived from his monohybrid cross? The first one, law of dominance, and the second one, law of segregation, also called as law of purity of gametes. Now in today's class, let us discuss about the dihybrid cross. Also, it can be called as inheritance of two genes. So monohybrid cross is inheritance of one gene and a dihybrid cross is inheritance of two genes. Now when we say inheritance of two genes, what does it mean? So Mendel selected two parents, true breeding parents or true breeding varieties which differ in two characters, only two characters. Remaining all the characters were the same, but the two characters were different. So such a cross is called as a dihybrid cross, or this cross explains the inheritance of two genes. Okay, so now what is a dihybrid cross, or how can we define a dihybrid cross? You know that. What is a dihybrid cross? Monohybrid cross, if you know, it's easy to define a dihybrid cross. I hope you all can define a monohybrid cross. What is a monohybrid cross? A cross involving two true breeding parents differing in only one character. That is called as a monohybrid cross, isn't it? So what can we, how can we define a dihybrid cross? A dihybrid cross is a cross involving two parents, true breeding parents, differing in two characters. Very important, two characters. So here we are going to consider two characters at a time. So in monohybrid cross, we consider only one character, which was that in the example that we discussed. We discussed about monohybrid cross, and then we took the example of stem height, isn't it? Stem height has two contrasting traits, which are the tallness and dwarfness. Now here, in a dihybrid cross, Mendel selected two parents, true breeding parents. You know what is a true breeding line? Yes, two parents, true breeding parents, which differ in two characters. Two characters means how many pairs of contrasting traits will be there? Two pairs of contrasting traits. That means four contrasting traits. Two characters, four contrasting traits. Let's see the example. Mendel selected round seeded pea plants. Round seeded pea plants which were yellow in color. Those two traits or two characters of seeds Mendel chose. So Mendel chose those plants which produce round seeds and which were yellow in color. So round color is dominant over wrinkled and yellow color is dominant over green. Okay, so dominant characters are round and yellow and recessive characters were wrinkled and green. So Mendel selected two characters, that is seed shape and seed color. These were the two characters which Mendel selected for his experiments. Seed shape has two contrasting traits. One is round, which is the dominant character, and the other one is wrinkled, which is the recessive character. The same way, seed color, he took two colors. One is yellow, which is the dominant one, and green, which is recessive. Hope it's clear? Right. So these were the two characters selected by Mendel for his dihybrid cross, which were the seed shape and seed color. So seed shape, two contrasting traits, round and wrinkled, and seed color, yellow and green. Now, how to represent genotype? So we know that homozygous dominant is represented by using capital letters and homozygous recessive is represented by using small letters. So for round, let us take it as capital R, and for wrinkled small r. Right? The same way for yellow, capital Y, and for green, small y. So these are the genotypes. Capital R and small r are the genotypes of dominant seed shape and recessive seed shape. And capital Y and small y, we take it for seed color, yellow and green. Hope this is clear. So Mendel selected two pea plants differing in two contrasting characters, or two characters which had two pairs of contrasting traits. Hope this is clear. Right. Now we will move on to the explanation for a dihybrid cross. What Mendel did during this experiment. So first he chose true breeding varieties. So when we discussed about monohybrid cross, we have seen that there are four major aspects of every experiment or a cross experiment. First one is selection of characters. Right? So there are 7 characters. From that we have to select the characters. So Mendel selected 2 characters, seed shape and seed color. The second one is selection of true breeding varieties. So true breeding varieties were selected after allowing it to undergo self-pollination for several generations. Right? So second aspect is selection of true breeding varieties. Mendel selected true breeding round yellow colored seeded plants, and wrinkled green seeded pea plants. He selected those two. The third one is cross pollination. Under cross pollination there are 5 different steps. You know that. First one is emasculation, second one is bagging, third one is cross pollination, fourth one is rebagging, and fifth one tagging. So he did all that. And the last one, he recorded all the he kept a record of all the data of his experiment. So these are the 4 different aspects of a cross. Okay. So dihybrid cross also, the aspects are the same. So now let us see dihybrid cross, how this cross is done. So the steps are the same as we have done for monohybrid cross. Hope you will remember the first step. What is the first step? The first step is always parental. So phenotype. So what is the parental phenotype that Mendel selected? The first one is round, yellow seeded pea plants, where crossed with wrinkled green seeded pea plants. So round yellow seeded pea plants were crossed with wrinkled green seeded pea plants. So this is the parental phenotype. Now how can we write the parental genotype? Parental genotype can be written as, for round we have to write it as capital R, and for yellow we have to write it as capital Y. Hope it's clear. So these are capital R and capital Y. Now what about this one? For this, the cross wrinkled green seeded pea plants. For that we have to write it as small r, small y, small y. Hope it's clear. So these are the genotypes of the parent. So here you have to write it as round yellow seeded pea plants. Here you have to write completed. Since I don't have the space over here, I have rubbed it. You have to write it as wrinkled green seeded pea plants. Okay. The parental phenotype is capital R. These two represents a round, and capital Y represents yellow. Here wrinkled, it is small r, and for green we have taken small y. Hope it's clear. Right. Now what is the next step? Now meiosis takes place and gametes will be formed. So the next step is meiosis. Here we have to write it as gametes. Now this parent, each gamete should have one factor for one character. So here we have taken 2 characters. So one factor for each character. for the round shape and one Y for yellow shape. Hope it's clear? And all the gametes produced will be having the same genotype. That is, all the gametes will be having a capital R and a capital Y. And here it will be a small r and a small y. Small r for wrinkled and small y for green. So gametes will be haploid. Haploid having half the number of chromosomes as that of the parent. Now what is the next step? Now fertilization. That is, the male and the female parents, female gametes fuse together to form a zygote. So zygote will be having, what will be the genotype of the zygote? It will be capital R, and from here it will be small r. You have to write the alleles of a character together. Okay, so capital R from this parent and small r from this parent. Here capital Y from this parent and small y from this parent. So this will be the hybrid. Now what is this hybrid? This hybrid is called as the F1, first filial generation. Right? This is F1 hybrid, and this will be a dihybrid. Why this will be a dihybrid? Because there are two characters. Okay, and now what will be the phenotype of this? All the plants will be producing round yellow seeded plants. All the bee plants from this cross were yellow, round and yellow seeded. So here all were round and yellow. All the pea plants produce round yellow seeds. Hope it's clear. So this is the F1 generation. Now what is the next step? The F1 plants were allowed to undergo self-pollination, isn't it? So the next step is F1 into F1. F1 into F1 selfing. Now, what is F1? Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. I hope it's clear to you all. So here we have to write it as capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, cross capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Why? Because it is F1 into F1. Hope it's clear? Right. Now what is the next step? As here, like here, the next step will be meiosis. And the next step will be gametes. So below this you have to write gametes. Now which are the gametes which will be produced? So each parent will be producing 4 different gametes. How? 4 different combinations are possible. How 4 different combinations are possible? That is, each gamete will be having one factor for each character. So one possibility is both can be dominant, that is capital R, capital Y. Right? Second one, capital R, small y. Third one, small r, capital Y. And the fourth one, small r, small y. So below this you have to write all the 4 gametes. Okay, so I am writing it here. One is capital R, capital Y. Second one, capital R, small y. Right? Third one is small r, small y, small r, capital Y, and then small r, small y. So these are the 4 gametes which will be produced by each parent. So this parent will be producing 4 and this parent also will be producing 4. So you have to write, since I don't have space over here, I am not writing it, but you have to write. Write down below this, that is below each parent you have to write 4 gametes. Capital R, capital Y, in a small circle, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Hope it's clear? Right. Now what is the next step? Next step is fertilization, that is F2 generation. So it's not that easy to show the cross here itself with all the 4 gametes, because there will be 16 different type of offspring. 16 offsprings will be formed. 4 gametes fused with another 4 gametes, so it will be 16 offsprings. So this 16 offsprings can be represented by using a checkerboard, also called as Punnett square. This we have studied when we discussed about monohybrid cross. So in a monohybrid cross also we have discussed, we have drawn a checkerboard with only 4 columns, because each one were having 2 gametes. So 2 2s are 4 offsprings only. But here, since there are 4 gametes from each parent, total number will be 16. So here I have already drawn 16 columns. Okay. Now, this one parent will be the male parent, gametes of the male parent, another one gametes of the female parent. So let us write in order. If you write it in order, it won't be a confusion for you. Otherwise, it will be a confusion for you. So the first one, round yellow, right? Capital R, capital Y. Then capital R, small y. Small r, capital Y. Small r, small y. Hope it's clear. What I have written here is nothing but the gametes which are produced as a result from each parent. Okay, as a result of meiosis. Here also, capital R, capital Y. Capital R, small y. Small r, capital Y. Small r, small y. Hope this is clear. Right. Now what is the next step? You have to cross. So write the factors of one character together. Factors of one character together. So let me write here. This one will be capital R, capital R. These two. Capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. This one will be capital R, capital R. First write dominant, capital Y, small y. Next one will be capital R, small r. Capital Y, capital Y. Then capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Right? You have to cross these two. Now, so it will be capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small y, small y. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. And here, capital R, small y, small y. This will be capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Then small r, capital Y, capital Y. Then again small r, capital Y, small y. Now here, capital R, capital Y, small y. Capital R, small y, small y. This will be small r, capital Y, capital Y. And this will be small r, small y, small y. So this is how we get the genotype of all the 16 offsprings. Now let us write the phenotype of each of this. What will be this? This will be round yellow. Why? Because there is a capital R and a capital Y. This is again round yellow. This is again round yellow. So if there is a capital R and a capital Y, the phenotype will be round yellow. This also round yellow. Now this one again round yellow. This one, here you see, one capital R is there. So we can write it as round. But both are small y. What does it mean? It is wrinkled. Round green, not wrinkled, round green. Right? Round green. Now this one is again round green. This is again round yellow. Why? Because here there is a capital Y. Capital R and capital Y. So it is again round yellow. Now this one will be again round green. Now this one again round yellow. This one will be again round yellow. Now this one wrinkled, because both are small letters, isn't it? So I use a different color, that is wrinkled yellow. This one again wrinkled yellow. This one round yellow. This one round green. This is wrinkled yellow. we get a checkerboard. So here you can see there are 4 different types of phenotypes. 4 different phenotypes. Which are they? Round yellow, then round green, wrinkled yellow and wrinkled green. 4 different phenotypes are found. 2 are parental combinations. Which are the parental combinations? Round yellow and wrinkled green. Then what about round green and wrinkled yellow? These 2 are recombinants. What is that? These 2 are recombinants. So below this you have to write F2 phenotypic ratio. What will be the F2 phenotypic ratio? If you count, here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 round yellow is to 3 round green. 1, 2 and 3. So 3 round green is to 3 wrinkled yellow is to 1 wrinkled green. So this is the F2 phenotypic ratio. Hope you got it. So what is F2 phenotypic ratio? 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Now if we check the genotypic ratio, so genotypic ratio is not mentioned in your textbook, but if for your CT you may get CT or NEET you may get this F2 genotypic ratio. So F2 genotypic ratio is just by hearted, means based on the genotype. Okay, so it is 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 4 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. That is 1 to 1. Then double of that 2, 4, 2. Again 1 to 1. So 1 to 1, 2, 4, 2, 1 to 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different genotypic combinations are possible. Hope it's clear. So that is all about a dihybrid cross. So hope till here you understood. F2 phenotypic ratio will be 9 is to 3 is to 1, 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, and F2 genotypic ratio will be 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 4 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. How to remember that? This 1 to 1, this also 1 to 1, in between that double of that 2, 4, 2. Hope it's clear? Right. So that is all about a dihybrid cross. So this is how Mendel derived his dihybrid cross by considering 2 characters of pea plants. So which were the 2 characters that Mendel selected? Seed shape and seed color. Seed shape round and wrinkled, seed color yellow and green. True breeding varieties, round yellow seeded plants with wrinkled green seeded plants. In the F1 generation, he got all the plants round yellow seeded plants. But in the F2 generation, he got the 2 new varieties, 2 new combinations which are called as genetic recombinations. So 2 new combinations other than the parental varieties. So the parental varieties were round yellow and wrinkled green. But in addition to that, Mendel got 2 recombinant varieties, that is round green and wrinkled yellow. So from his dihybrid cross, he came to certain conclusions. Right? Now after his dihybrid cross, he derived 2 more laws, one more law which is called as the law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment. That we will see in the next class.